about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free with Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free.
Good evening. It's really good to see so many of you here for our second Changing Places live stream. Apologies that it's obviously half an hour later than it normally is. We did mention it in at the end of last week's live stream, and we asked teachers to tell you, but obviously there was a few of you that didn't get that message, but it was great to see that you've waited for us. It has been quite interesting to read your chat about your thoughts on paper one. Obviously it seems a bit mixed. Some of you think it was quite good, some of you think it was a bit of a nightmare, so hopefully you'll be feeling a little bit better about paper two. I have Suzanne on screen with me in the middle, and I've got Brendan, who you hopefully have seen many times revising with us. I think, Suzanne, you did one of our first Changing Places live streams, and actually it's your favourite topic, isn't it?
It is. I love changing places.
Yeah.
The Marmite topic, but I love it.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So we obviously will kick off in a moment, but just to remind you, obviously we've got paper ones out of the way now. Unfortunately, there's nothing else you can do for it apart from keep those fingers crossed, particularly those of you that are relying on it to get you into uni. So let's hope everything went well. But we do have all the previous live streams for paper two, that if you have missed them, you can watch those, or if you've watched them, you can go back and watch them again. We've covered all. So we've done Changing Places 1, we've done global governance, we've got global systems, we've done all the optional topics as well. So please go back and have a look at those if you need to. Right, Suze, I think we're starting with you this evening, and we've got a categorise activity. So as usual, if you can pop your answers in the chat, if you've got any burning questions as well that you would like asked, pop them in, and we'll try and do our very best between the three of us to answer those for you. Right, Suze, I'll just get the PowerPoint up and hand over to you.
Okay, thank you. Let's go. Brilliant. So our first activity is, as Vicki said, it's a categorise. So we're just waiting for that to come online. Here we go. Okay, so if you haven't played before, it's very straightforward. You can see that we have got two categories: endogenous factors and exogenous factors, and you have got 1 to 8 written down there on the right hand side. So you have to work out which numbers should go under endogenous factors, which numbers should go under exogenous. So we'll start the minute timer now. Off you go. As soon as you think you know the answer, pop it into the chat box. You do one at a time if you fancy, but just get speedy answers going. Oh, well done. Piper, you might have missed one of them, so just have another look. Okay, we've got, so thank you, Alex, for popping one in there. Okay, we've got quite a few coming through now. Okay, you've got 15 seconds left. Brilliant. Got quite a few of you answering tonight. That's brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah, there's some there that perhaps need a bit of thinking about, don't they? About what the context is. Right. So there we go. There's our minute up. So endogenous factors, just to remind you, these are internal characteristics of a place. So our answers are there: the site and situation, because that's something internal. The internal characteristics of the population would include its age structure, the relief, which is the kind of the shape and topography of the land, and finally their drainage. So all of those things can kind of affect the character of a place, because they're things that originate internally, which could alter maybe whether settlement has been built, how it's developed over time, things like that. Exogenous obviously flows occur externally and can be relationships or flows, so flows of money, things like that. So here we have FDI, so foreign direct investment from TNCs, government urban policy, and if you've done contemporary urban environments, you will also had a look at some specific urban policies there. We've got immigration, so they're people coming in from outside into the place, and sustainability. So sustainability is like the flow of an idea. Ideas are important in changing places, and that's how we get sustainability in as an exogenous factor. Brilliant. Okay, so I think we're super fast tonight, and we're handing over to Brendan for the next activity.
Many thanks. Right. Okay. We have coming up now 10 multiple choice questions. So you can see the first one already. What I suggest you do, if you want to, is just write down a bit of paper 1 to 10. All the answers are going to be either A, B, C, or D. And again, if you want to put that in the chat, that's a nice, easy thing to do. So some people are already firing away because they think they know the answer to this one, which the question is: place is a geographical concept made up of which 3 different aspects? It's a much debated concept actually in geography, but which answer you think is the best one there? Loads of, in fact, so many good answers there, I can't keep up with them. Right, B is correct. Well done if you said that, which pretty much most people involved did. Let's have a look at the second MCQ. Places are important in our lives because place meanings are often what? Is it A, B, C, or D? I'm not going to read them out. You just make your decision on question 2. First off the mark was Dan there with D, which is actually correct. Let's have a look at the correct answer there. Well done. Contested places. Right. Question 3. Greater consciousness of and loyalty to your hometown may be described as what? Is it A, nationalism, B, patriotism, C, regionalism, or D, localism? Put your answers in the chat or on your piece of paper if you prefer to keep it to yourself. Okay. The correct answer there, which quite a few people seem to be getting, well done if you did, and you said D, localism. Okay, good. Question 4. Across human society, people in distant places have often been seen as different to us, or what's the term we might use? Is it A, other, B, in common, C, alike, or D, local? What do you think? Put your answer in the chat. Lots of people coming up with answer A. If you did, that's correct. Other. sometimes known as othering. Next question is this. Every place is sorry, I'll start that again. There's a quote there. Every place is like no place in particular. The concept of placelessness is often exemplified by which of the following? It's A, B, C, or D. I'm not going to read them out. You make your decision. Lots of people are writing out, deciding on A, which is the correct answer. And well done for Alex for actually writing the answer out as well. Well done. Okay, question 6 is the next one. A person with a deep and broad experience of a place and is familiar with the daily routines and shared experiences there can be called something. A, B, C, or D. Oh, am I ahead of myself there?
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
me.
Okay. So, okay, don't worry. I'll read that again. A person with a deep and broad experience of a place and is familiar with daily routines and shared experiences can be called one of the following: A, B, C, or D. What do you think? Have we got some good answers? Some really very, very good array of answers for these. The correct answer is, of course, C, an insider.
Sorry,
Okay.
Brendan.
Yeah.
The reason that
Yeah.
I'd stopped it is because
Yes.
I was trying to ask you a question and realised I was on mute, and I was trying to work out why I'd gone on mute. One of our students had just asked if we could clarify what a clone town was before we move on.
Okay. Yeah, can we do that at the end of
At
the
the
10
end, yeah,
questions? Because
absolutely.
it may crop up again. I think it is cropping up again.
Okay.
Yes, it is. So we'll come back to that. Yeah. So number 7, a place you have never visited but which feels familiar may be described as one of the following. Make your decision. Is it A, B, C, or D? So we have a bit of variety there, actually, but if you put the correct answer as D, a media place, well done. We often talk about places being having gone media valorization. You may have heard that term. But if they've been in a famous book or in a famous film or a famous TV series, that place gets an identity which can often make people feel as if they've been there even though they haven't. Okay, question number 8. Technology, for example, the internet, means we don't experience the friction of distance so much today. I love that phrase, friction of distance. This is known as what? Is it A, B, C, or D? Okay. Well, lots of people coming up the right answer. In fact, nearly everybody there. Some people even writing it out. Alex, well done. And everyone else who put C, time-space compression. Right, number 9. 4 images for you now. Which of the following images best illustrates what's called tourist glaze? Is it image A, image B, image C, or image D? Tourist glaze.
I think, Brendan, that might be a
Right.
typo. I think it should say tourist gaze.
It should be. You're absolutely right. Sorry. That's my fault entirely.
Don't worry. Okay. The answer is D. Well done if you put D. So that's a picture suggesting that right there. Okay, question 10 coming up. Which of these means social division? Which of the following A, B, C, or D means social division and leads some groups to becoming disenfranchised? Is it A, B, C, or D? It's the last one of these 10 MCQs. Lots of people are coming up with a correct answer, which is exclusion. So well done if you said that. Just a comment back on the clone towns. The term clone towns refers to places where there are lots of services, particularly shops, that you might see a lot of in a lot of places. They're often run by big, corporations, TNCs that run lots of shops. So you might go to a town and think, this looks very much like the other town I went to. It's a little bit samey. So they don't have very many independent shops, I would say, is quite a good definition of that. Would that be okay?
Somebody had also
colleagues?
asked earlier about tourist
Yeah.
gaze, but I think that's possibly because they didn't know what the tourist glaze was because of my typo.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
And we've also got
Right.
somebody asking to explain exogenous factors.
They're factors that are from sort of outside the system or outside of the place, I would suggest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's often perceived as flows of capital, flows of money, flows of people, flows of ideas, flows of resources, and relationship to other places. So that's where it appears in the wording in the specification. So that's what you're looking out for with exogenous. We've also got positionality there. So positionality is kind of, I suppose, what your position as a person is. So are you sort of your gender, your ethnicity, your age, even comes down to kind of sexuality, whether you have any disabilities, and it affects how you perceive a place or how you understand a place depending on where you are, I guess, in society. And then time compression. Do you want to do that one, Brendan? Or I can do it if you want.
You
We've
go
got that
ahead. Yeah.
come up
Yeah.
as well. So time-space compression there is the idea that actually over time we have those very far places are much nearer to us because we can actually travel really, really quickly, or we can actually communicate with the other side of the world almost instantaneously now. So we've had that kind of compression of time and space.
Great. Good.
Okay.
Good ideas. Okay.
Right, so shall I
Right.
crack on with the red herring? Right, so
Yeah.
this
Go.
one
Go ahead. Back
is
to recurring.
a great game. We have 4 items here. Now, one of them is going to be an odd one out, but then the other 3 are going to be connected by a theme. So if you can work out which one's the odd one out, so you put the letter and then try and work out what matches the other 3. So this is an interesting one. So look carefully at those photographs and work out which one you think is going to be the odd one out and what is the common theme for the other 3. Okay, we've got quite a few bees coming up. You think that's the odd one out? Ah, Zara, well done. Fantastic. I've got it there. I think actually, Kaylee, you got it as well. Yeah, it's D. Okay, so there's a really nice public space. It's very inviting. Whereas all the others you can see, you've got a fortress gated community in B, and you've actually got benches there which are to prevent homelessness or people who are homeless sleeping on them because they've got that little thing in the middle, and then you've got little spikes to stop people sleeping in doorways. So they're all parts of the built environment features to exclude people. Right, thank you. Yeah, Charles, hostile architecture, good word for it. This is another one. So which one is the odd one out and what links the other 3? So give it a go, pop it in, see who can be the fastest in the chat box. Okay, I think, yeah, I've absolutely got, I can't see who was the first person here. Which one? Yeah, Alex, you put the word in, didn't you? Brilliant. So can you work out what the link is between the others? Oh, Vicky's shown us. So yeah, it is climate. Lots and lots of you have got to be there. So what links the other 3 is that they are shifting flows. So some of those exogenous factors, and they will impact on the characteristics of an area, and they shape some of the demographic and socioeconomic characteristics of a place. Right, next one is, we've got 4 different ones here. We've got photography for A, B, film, C, census data, D, poetry. Which one's the odd one out? And I've got instantly, well done. I've got Hey and Chloe. We've got in Eve, well done. And tell me why that is what C, why, what links A, B, and D? Oh, well done, Masuma. Brilliant. We've got the answer there. So if we can reveal it, absolutely. They're all qualitative forms of data. So they're very subjective. So they're kind of more opinion based. But we must accept in changing places how important that qualitative data is. It isn't lesser than census data. It's just different from, because it opens up a whole new meaning to place that isn't evident through just looking at like numerical numbers. Right, okay, next one number 5, we've got here some more photographs. So hopefully you can have a good look at those and see them. Hopefully they're big enough, unless you're looking on a tiny mobile phone, and work out which one of those you think is the odd one out and what matches the rest. Well done, Dan, Chloe, well done, Piper, brilliant. So we've got lots of you. Have we got it? Have we got what the link is? Well done. Michael's got it. Let's reveal it. Thank you. So all the other 3 are quite placeless. So we've got there a shopping mall, we've got an airport, and we've got like a very bland kind of pedestrian high street. Could be anywhere where it's very hard to tell. They've got no distinctive features or characters that make them feel different or give them kind of a unique identity or a sense of place. Whereas D, you can see it's got quite historical architecture. So it looks different from other places. It would be easily recognisable. So it has a strong sense of place. Brilliant. Okay, so next one here, we have got global institutions like the World Health Organization, B is government policy, C stereotypes, and D TNCs. Which one? Oh, we've got that. Zoom. Before I even finished speaking, we had the right answers coming in. Brilliant. Yeah, but what is it that links the other 3? What is it? I've got loads of correct answers, but I want to know what that link is. Who's going to be the first? Yes, well done. Another good one there, Michael. So, yeah, we can see the reveal. Most of these are external agencies. And yes, Michael, we do sometimes call them agents of change as well. Brilliant. Okay, and I think we've got one final one here. So see if you can get this before I finish reading. A, culture, B, demography, C, foreign direct investment, D, language. See if who can get this quickly. Yeah, really fast. Hey, Charles, Chloe, Dan, well done, FTV. Let's see if anyone knows what the connection is between the other 3. What is yes. We got Michael. You're doing really well tonight. So we do have foreign direct investment, and the other one is impacted by shifting flows of people. But actually, yes, you're right. They're also endogenous. So you did get another link that wasn't the one that we identified. Right. Okay. I think that's the last one.
No, you've got 2 more, Suze.
I've got 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Oh yes, I have. Yes, I can see. Okay, so A, immigration, B, conservation, C, population decline, or D, economic growth. What do you think is the odd one out, and what links the other 3? So let's get it. We're going to get the right answer. Okay, we've got a few. I think there's less
This one's
surety
tricky, isn't it?
It is tricky.
We've got every answer covered.
Yeah, we have. We do. Okay, should we put you out your misery, everybody? Let's see. We've said conservation because the other 3 will instigate changes in place. Okay, so but again, some of you might be able to come up with some very valid connections of the other 3 as well. Right, and a final one. Okay, we've got the UN Sustainable Development Goals. That will fit in very nicely with your global governance unit. Remember that synoptic element that could appear in either of those 2 questions. We've got B, TNC, C, local groups, community groups, and D, government policy. So I've got a lot of C's coming in. Let's see, do you know what the link is between the other 3? Yes, well done. I think Alex has got something very close to our answer. So let's see. Our answer is absolutely C. And they are all external agencies operating on a much, much larger scale than local community groups. So on a national or international scale. Remember how important scale is for your AO1, for your 20 markers. You need to be talking about either scale or time, so temporal and spatial, if appropriate. Okay, so just remember that to try and talk about different scales if it's appropriate. Right, I'm off now and back to Brendan.
Thanks, Suzanne. Right, okay, next one is called categorize. You have 3 categories in front of you there. Categories of place, perspectives on place, and scale of identity. So if you want to jot these down, just put C for the first column, P for the second column, and S for the third column. and simply sort the ideas beneath that, the items beneath. You've got just under a minute to do that. So there's 8 things to sort 3 ways. So you've got 45 seconds to do that. Please, if you wish, put them in the chat. So you've got 30 seconds left. Which things fall into the categories of place, which things fall into perspectives on place, and which things fall into scale of identity. So well done if you're putting some in the chat. Quite a few of you are. Thank you for those suggestions. The answer will be coming up in 10 seconds. Okay, the time is very nearly up. Let's have a look at the categories. So the categories would be as follows. You would have categories of place would include near, far, and media. That's numbers 3, 5, and 6. Perspectives on place include insider and outsider. That's numbers 1 and 7. And scale of identity would include 2, 4, and 8. That's the local, regional, and national categories. So well done if you got those. Let's move on.
Right, okay, back over to me. So bubble quiz. If you haven't played this before, we're going to have 4 answers to a question. Now, sometimes there might be none of them that are correct. Sometimes there might be 1, there might be 2, there might be 3, or all of them might be correct. So you have to guess which ones are the correct answers. So let's kick off and start with question number 1. So which of the following are positionality factors? Remember, I talked to you about this just a little bit earlier, about 5 minutes ago. Is it A, age, B, ethnicity, C, gender, or D, disability? How many do you think are correct? And write down which ones you think they are. Well done, Piper. Come through. Yeah, well done. We've got a stream of correct answers there. Absolutely. So if we do the reveal, it is in fact all of those. They are all ways in which that your positionality might impact on the way you perceive place, and how you kind of feel about place, and the way in which you construct place meaning, which is very subjective and personal to yourself based on those things. Right, okay, question number 2. Which of these are strategies for altering the identity or perception of a place? Okay, so is it A, industrial decline, B, re-imaging, C, regeneration, D, rebranding? So any of them right? Are some right? Which ones do you think might be? Zara, well done. I think, yeah, we've got some good geographers tonight. So yes, it is there. I knew I was going to pronounce something wrong, Vicky. Reimagining, regeneration, and rebranding. They're the correct answers. Okay, so they're ways in which a place meaning they try and kind of recreate it or alter it. Right, so next one, which of these indicators or domains or of the index of multiple deprivation? So you might have done the IMD, very likely when you were studying your local or your distant place if it was the UK. And I can see Eve absolutely coming right in there. So can we see our answer? It is in fact all of those. So they have slightly different weightings, but basically they create the number that then gets sort of transformed into a decile. So you look at which are in the like top 10 or top decile, and then each are kind of categorized against each other based on that. Right, over to our next one.
Sorry, before we move on, someone has just asked what the difference is between re-image and rebrand.
Oh, yeah. So I suppose re-image, it's quite a tricky one because they're so similar. Rebrand is trying to and give it a different meaning. So I've just been to Stratford today to the Olympic Park and to Westfield. And definitely what they're trying to do there is a bit of both of those. So they've obviously rebranded it. So they've given it, they have Westfield there. They had lots and lots of signs and kind of images around there with the Olympic colours, and they're trying to sell a completely different version of what it was before. And as part of that, they have to imagine it by kind of creating completely different photographs and totally different adverts, or communicate different images of it than are out there already. Because if you kind of do a search for Stratford, you might find quite a lot of old Stratford in the 1970s and the 1980s. So it's kind of trying to create those two things often come at the same time. To rebrand it, you have to make people perceive it differently. Does that make sense? Hopefully that's kind of an
I think
answer to
so.
that question. Yeah. And again, think of maybe one of your, it could be your distant place, or it could be your local place that you've studied as your place study. And I'm sure one of those might have elements of that actually within it. Right. Which of these are types of secondary data? So have a think, secondary data, and pop in there which ones you think. Okay, I've got some correct answers coming straight in. Yeah, right. So let's reveal. Indeed, it is A, C, and D. Because environmental quality, if you're conducting it yourself, that is a primary data collection. Alice, I'll come back to you in a minute, okay, with that one. Right, we'll go on to question number 5. Okay, so which of the following are qualitative data sources? So we have got footfall data, interviews, poetry, or oral history. So which is qualitative data sources? Which ones would you say were the correct answer there? How many? Yeah, again, well done, Alex, Richard, Michael. Brilliant. Let's have a reveal. It is indeed B, C, and D. So they're qualitative. Again, like I said, they actually can be really important in revealing meaning and sense of place. Charles, footfall data is a pedestrian count, basically. How many people are walking past a specific point for a period of time, 2 minutes, for example. And yeah, I think, is that the final one, Vicky? We've got one more.
You've got you've got one more that's just come up.
Yeah. So which of these are statistical techniques for critically analysing data? Or A, a scatter graph, B, a geolocated bar chart, C, interquartile range, or D, we've got our chi-square test. So which ones do you think are statistical techniques? Okay, shall we have, I'm not so sure here. Some of us have got it right. Yeah, so we would generally say the statistical techniques there are C and D. So they're us critically analysing it and kind of looking at statistical significance for chi-square. Yeah, so it's those two there. Right, okay. So I was just going to go back. I think Alice had asked a question
Shall I
about
find
why
that question for you?
it was industrial.
So Alice said,
Why was
could
it
you argue that industrial change indirectly changes place meaning or perception of a place?
Absolutely, you could, Alice. The wording of the question was which of the strategies. So that's why that wasn't the right answer to that. But you're absolutely right. It can change the meaning of a place. So all of those processes, remember, lots of the things within the changing places, we're looking at different processes, changes that are operating on a place. So deindustrialization, industrial decline, industrial growth, industrialization, all of those things we could argue do change place meaning. Okay? Right.
Thanks, Suzanne. Back to categorise. This time we've got
Again.
2 categories. This time just 2, qualitative data or quantitative data. You've got 2 choices in which to categorise 8 items. You can see them listed on the right-hand side. You have a minute to do so. If you want to write them down or jot them in the chat, I suggest you just put QL for qualitative and QT for quantitative data. So make your decisions as best you can. You can just write the numbers on either side of your columns or your lists or your answer online. Okay, you've got just over 20 seconds left to make your decisions. So which of those things are qualitative and which are quantitative? Okay, your time is up. Let's see how they fall. So you've got the qualitative items would be interviews, rephotography. That's when you are taking a picture of a place and seeing how it compares with, a historical image, perhaps. Really interesting thing to do. Online reviews, you may be looking at what people are chatting about online about a place or a development or a proposal. Works of art are very useful qualitative data. And on the other hand, we have quantitative data, which is essentially when you've got numerical, usually objective measures of something, decibel readings of sound, crime statistics, giving some idea from the police force what they say is going on in a particular area. They're actually counting the crimes and the types of crimes. Building age would be another one that's a fairly indisputable, provided you've got the facts. It's a certain number of years old. You can kind of guesstimate it, but either way, it's quantitative data. And a Clodetown survey, which we talked about earlier on, that's going to be a little bit more judgmental, but you are going to end up with a certain sort of number of shops that would fall into the category that you might use to define a clone town. Okay, back to Suzanne.
Right, okay, I love this one. This is the big reveal. So we're going to reveal 5 clues one at a time. And as soon as you think you've found out what the answer is, pop it in the chat box. So we're going to start with the first clue. This is, if we go, it's a secondary data source. Not a lot of information yet, but you might want to take a guess, a stab at it. It provides data of a whole population rather than a sample. That's quite a good clue. Well done, Charles. You've got there first. Oh, we've got Susanna. Well done. It helps organisations make planning decisions on planning and funding. Oh, you guys are clever tonight. Well done. It was last completed on the 21st of March 2011. That's a huge clue for those of you who haven't got it yet. And our final clue, it occurs every 10 years. So that's actually wrong, isn't it, Vicki? It wasn't completed on the 21st of March 2011. It's 2021.
Yeah, and again,
So
I suspect that
it needs to
possibly
update.
is a typo, isn't it? So I will change that on the PowerPoint again.
So just so you know, it's 2021, not 2011. So the next time we'll do it, theoretically, should be 2031. And it gives us a great kind of amazing kind of data source as geographers to be able to see changes every 10 years in a place. And it's quite fascinating to go into, and it's very easily available online. And absolutely, I suspect many of you used it for your NEAs, and you probably have used it in your place studies as well. Right, okay. Next one, I think it's true and false. And I think we're back to Brendan for this one.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. Right, we're on the home straight now. So true or false, just 5 of these coming up. So there's some statements which you can agree or disagree with or say they're right or wrong, but we're going to ask for you to say true or false. So you can just type T or F in the chat, very easy. So I'll read out this statement. What do you think? Qualitative data sources such as oral histories or reminiscences are not useful because they are subjective. What do you think? Well done if you said false. Okay, they are extremely useful. Okay, the next question, we talked about it just now. In the UK, the census is used to collect data every 5 years. Is that true or false? What do you think? Well done if you're saying false, because it's every 10 years. Okay. Next one. I think I'm right in saying the first census ever was 1801 in this country. They've been around for a long time. Okay, for a scatter graph, the dependent variable should always go on the y-axis with the independent variable on the x-axis. Would you say that is true, or would you say it's false? Jot your answer in the chat. What do you think? The correct answer is true. That's a correct statement there. Okay, next one. Calculating the Spearman's rank correlation tells you about the strength of the relationship between two variables. Is that true or false? Good old Spearman's rank. What do you reckon? Well done if you said that that statement is true. It's correct. And the final true or false is this statement coming up here, which is if a data source is described as unreliable, it is likely to be inaccurate or incomplete. Is that true or is that statement false? What do you think? Well done if you said that that is true. A correct statement there. Well done. Back to Suzanne.
Thank you. Right. Okay. So we've only got a couple of multiple choice questions to finish us off. So, which of the following is an example of formal data? So, let's see who's going to get it in. Yes, well done. I've got streams of correct answers coming through. I think you guys are super well prepared for paper 2. Right, okay, let's have a look. Yes, it is indeed census data. The rest are considered informal. Which of the following is a qualitative data source? So we've got the index of multiple deprivation with those IMDs, data from police formal on crime statistics. We've got geological maps of an area for C, and D, a photograph, which is a qualitative. Again, really strong answers coming through, and you are correct if you put down D, a photograph. And finally, final question, which of the following is an advantage of primary data collection? So A, it's designed by you to answer a very specific geographical inquiry question. B, data collected is drawn from a complete sample of the population. C, the data accessed can be accessed readily online. And D, data collection techniques for primary data have no inaccuracies or flaws. And again, we have a stream of correct answers coming in telling us that it is. And let's see, magical reveal. It is A. Yeah, so that's the good thing about primary data collection, and I'm sure all of you have done that for your NEAs, which have now, I think, as of tomorrow is the final deadline, I think, for it getting sent off to the exam board, isn't it? So, right, thank you. That was brilliant.
Thank you very much. So lots of really good answers. I think pretty much for those MCQs, it was fairly, not far off 100% correct answers. There is a little bit of chat now worrying about whether whether Spearman's rank is going to appear in the exam. So perhaps fingers crossed it doesn't, if that's not what you want to see. But if just in case, get yourself prepped. Make sure you understand it before you go in. Charles has said, do we have to know the Spearman's rank calculation?
I'm going to say no. What will usually happen, Charles, is that there will be a partially completed Spearman rank table, and it's likely that you might have to fill in 2 or 3 numbers, but it'll be quite clear how that's done. And then using those numbers, the formula will be there, and you will have to put it into the formula to create an answer. And there's usually 2 marks allocated for that, and then 4 marks will usually, now obviously I can't say for definite, I haven't seen the paper, I have no idea what is on it, but 4 marks are usually reserved for you explaining the significance of that answer, so actually kind of interpreting what that Spearman rank number means, comparing it on the critical values table. So yeah, it could come up, it might not come up, who knows.
And we've got some
Also,
chat
look
saying
out
that
for
it
the,
shouldn't come up
yeah.
because it was covered last year, but that's not always the case, so don't fall into that trap.
The other thing is ranking them can be tricky, especially if it's a piece of data that you think is a low number good or bad. So, for example, the infant mortality rate, low number is good. So that would mean that the rank is higher. So that kind of thing you need to watch out for.
Yeah, just be careful with that. Right. Thanks, Suzanne. Thanks, Brendan, for obviously presenting and all of the answers that you've given. And we've had lots of extra questions in this evening's chat as well. Please remember, we've got all the previous live streams for covering this whole paper over the last few months, so have a look at them on our Instagram channel. Sorry, on this channel. We've also got the Instagram account where we are posting revision questions daily, and have been so since January, so you can have a look through and scroll back and see what you can see there. Right. Good luck, I guess that's all I've got left to say. Hope it goes really well. And yeah, you've got this. You've obviously prepped hard for it. If you're watching this at 6:30 on a Wednesday night, then you are the sort of student who is very well prepared and should do really well. So good luck and good evening and good night.
Yeah.